Breaking crypto news, the SEC just declared that liquid staking activities are not securities. What does this mean? And most importantly, what does it mean for PulseChain, which also has liquid staking available, 3 different platforms? And why do people even care about this? It's because it's an easy way for people to get yield on their PLS tokens or their ETH tokens. I've got previous videos about this. It's pretty simple as a concept. Ethereum and PulseChain have validators and they help run the network. If you become a validator, you get 4% APY on Ethereum. On PulseChain, you get 10% APY, which is why people like PulseChain, one of many reasons. But now we're safe from a legal standpoint, it seems, not from a technical standpoint. I'll address that in a minute. But basically, the SEC said, we're not going to sue you if you try to do liquid staking, which was always kind of the boogeyman, right? Nobody wanted to get sued by the SEC, and they were doing it arbitrarily. They were really just unfairly persecuting people, whoever they felt like, right? Whoever was most successful, kind of like how PulseChain got sued, but then actually beat the SEC. But it's good to see that they're actually providing clarity on liquid staking because it's a bit more advanced. I wouldn't expect them to address something like liquid staking so quickly. But you know what's really going on, right, guys? You know about BlackRock, you know about the staking ETFs. They've got to approve the staking ETFs because the world's largest asset manager wants to sell an ETF that is yield bearing. So of course, they're going to go to their buddies at the SEC, the revolving door, the whole regulatory capture thing. As long as there's money to be made by the elites, they're going to say it's okay. But luckily, you can now access the same stuff that the elites are going to try to sell you in the form of an ETF. See, the SEC, BlackRock, all these big asset managers, they want to sell you this fake version, this castrated, centralized version of a yield-bearing representation of Ethereum or of PulseChain maybe one day. But if you want to actually be outside the system, if you want to do this the right way, with no middlemen, the way crypto is supposed to be, you can just do this yourself by going to these websites I'm about to show you right here. Just know that for the people running these and the people holding these liquid staking tokens, you're safe from a regulatory standpoint. Now, BlackRock and all these other companies, they're going to start issuing yield-bearing ETFs for Ethereum. It's coming. I mean, they've already applied for it. Interest-bearing, okay? Meaning they just gain in value, annual percent yield, 4%. And PulseChain is better. We're going to talk about why PulseChain is better. We've got vouch.run, we've got PlusX.app, we've got these different websites. I'll list them in the description below. These make staking easier for the average person because you don't have to run a validator yourself. Now, I know that I said that there's no more legal risk of the SEC suing you for securities violations by holding these coins. That's fine. It's good. It's progress, whatever. But you are exposing yourself to more smart contract risk. Nothing is without risk. These smart contracts that are behind the whole thing, they could be hacked, but they're all forks from existing protocols that have been working fine for 3 or 4 or 5 years now. And so all the stuff on PulseChain, they say Ethereum is like the test net for PulseChain. So we get to look and see what's running successfully on Ethereum and copy that same code with minimal changes onto PulseChain. So these are probably safe, and they're a lot less work than staking PulseChain yourself in a validator. But again, it's not a certainty that these are going to be fine. There's not a guarantee here. Everything could go down. So don't put your whole bag in any one of these protocols. But the SEC basically approved all these protocols and people using them. So if you go to vouch.run, for example, we can open up their app and you could see that validator, people putting their money in here are getting 12%, almost 13% APR just for parking their pulse in here. And what happens when you use these protocols, you put in like, 100,000 PLS, let's say, and it gives you back a receipt token. So the SEC approved of these liquid staking receipt tokens. Basically, it's just a way to mark how much money you have in the protocol. So you put in PLS, they give you back VPLS on this platform. This is vouch.run. Now that's pretty good, right? Because idle pulse doesn't make any yield. So you might as well make some yield maybe with some of your pulse if you're okay with the smart contract risk. We've got other protocols like Project Pi, which is also now in the clear from the SEC standpoint, but they're still doing a fundraise. This protocol is not interesting yet until their PPY token is launched. And I know it says 43 to 107% APY. That is assuming that you buy and hold their PPY token and you bond that to your validator. So there's a catch here. And the PPY token's not actually tradable yet. So I would keep an eye on this protocol, come back to it when the PPY actually launches. You can make a lot of money, but keep in mind that this APY calculator, it assumes some things like that the PPY price is stable. If the price of PPY goes down, the APY is going to go down. We don't really need to get into it right now. And the final liquid staking derivative protocol on PulseChain, which again, the SEC just gave the green light to all these. PlusX.app, go to PlusX.app, launch the app, and make sure you pick Validator X. So Validator X, it's another one of these protocols where you put in however much pulse you want, right? Let's say 300,000 pulse, and you get back UPLS. And UPLS is your receipt token that generates the yield. And all of these tokens relative to pulse, you'll notice that they slowly gain value. This is UPLS, for example, in pulse terms. So this is a visual just so you understand how these tokens work. You put in your pulse into this protocol, you get back UPLS. You're earning, right now it says 10.8%, but this fluctuates. Okay, it's been higher, it's been lower. Just like vouch.run, this also fluctuates. Okay, these are variable APRs. But as you're holding the UPLS, you don't have to do anything at all. That UPLS just gains value relative to regular PLS because it just keeps track of how much yield you're entitled to when you want to cash that back out. So when you want to convert your UPLS, back to PLS, when you pull it out in the future, you're going to be able to take out more PLS than when you put it. Make sense? And if you kept it for a full year, you would have 10.8% on average more PLS after that year. So all the charts of these tokens, they kind of just go up very slowly according to the APY that's generated. Now, if you don't want the counterparty risk, you can always go to validatorstore.com. You can run your own node. This is the best thing to do to secure the network, to actually decentralize the network, because if you're going to use one of these protocols, Project Pi, PulseX, Vouch, if you're going to use one of these, like I said, there's smart contract risk. You're hoping that the smart contracts behind everything aren't going to go down. And you're also hoping that the front ends stay up, but a lot of them are hosted on IPFS and they have backups. You could always interact with the blockchain directly in the worst case scenario. You're just hoping that there's no 0-day exploit or giant, critical bug, basically, in any of these protocols. So if you have a little bit more technical skills, you can go to validatorstore.com, and you can even get this guy, David Feeder. He's a PulseChain validator professional. He can call you. He can do consulting for you. You can even buy machines from him. Like, you'll buy a machine that looks like this if you want to. None of this is mandatory. But he sells these things, right? And then he makes a lot of free tutorials, which I followed all of his free tutorials. I was able to set up a validator myself. All you need to do is know a little bit of command line, copy, paste, different scripts. But he is available for consultation if you want to. And he also runs his own cloud hosting service, meaning he could run a PulseChain validator on your behalf if you trust him with that, which I do. I can vouch for this guy. But again, everything carries risk. And if you really just want to run your own validator by buying your own computer or using an existing computer that you might have already, well, in that case, the risk is you. You are your own worst enemy. The risk is that you mess up. Maybe your validator goes down. Maybe you're on vacation and your power goes out and you forgot to set up a backup generator, or you forgot to automatically reboot it if there's a power surge. These things can happen. So there really is no truly passive income, but these are the closest you can get. I mean, it's pretty minimal effort. Again, running your own node is better for the decentralization of the network. But what a lot of people ended up doing, both on PulseChain and on Ethereum, is they just use protocols like this, where they put in their Pulse, they get back a receipt token like vPulse. The price of that token goes up, and when they want to cash it back in for their Pulse, they get more. So I figured this was a good time to just let everybody know about yield, because a lot of people ask about it. A lot of people want to know how to stake PulseChain or how to stake their Ethereum. Ethereum has been doing this for a long time now. And PulseChain, we just copy the best of the best protocols, and we put them on PulseChain. So vouch.run, Project Pi.xyz, not fully functional yet. Keep an eye on it, though. It does work, but to get those crazy APYs won't be till later. And of course, PlusX.app. This is my favorite, but vouch.run is looking pretty good too. If you want to get really advanced, you could do some liquidity plays, right? Like, you could liquidity bond WPLS to UPLS. You can make trading fees and slowly exit your UPLS as you're making yield. I mean, that's very advanced. And for a lot of people, you're just going to want to hold the token, but it's food for thought, because you got to decide, do you want all of your Pulse sitting there idle, or do you want to allocate maybe 10% of your bag towards the liquid staking things? Now, read the documentation. I'll say it one more time. They could all go down. There could be an unforeseen bug. Everything you do is extra risk. You walk outside the door in the morning, you go out, walk into traffic, that's risk. Okay, everything you do. But I think these protocols are pretty safe. They've been running fine for a year, sometimes more than a year. And again, they're copied off of code that's been running on Ethereum for a long time. And if you were worried about the SEC still, which a lot of us crypto people, we didn't really care anyway. But for the normies out there, your government overlords approve, and they do not think liquid staking receipt tokens are securities, meaning you won't get sued, you won't get persecuted. It's fine to hold them. So it's progress. It's a win for Ethereum, and anything that's a win for Ethereum is usually a win for PulseChain too. Make sure you check out PulseChain. It's a cheaper, faster version of Ethereum if you're new, and also you can make almost triple the yield. Look, 12%, that's triple what Ethereum is paying 4%. So you can triple that on Pulse. The choice is yours. Definitely worth checking out. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. I also have a course if you're brand new to crypto. Get that course. It's going to save you tons of time, tons of money. It's going to keep you from getting hacked, getting scammed. Honestly, if you're brand new to crypto, I wish I had something like that, 10 years ago when I was first starting out. There's a lot of ways you can blow everything up. You can lose everything in crypto. So educate yourself before it's too late. We are still early. Ethereum's at $3,600 today. Still a long way to go in the up direction. Stay bullish out there. I'll see you on the next one.